Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your hats because what I'm about to tell you could be a real game changer for the Washington Commanders in the upcoming seasons. Rumors are swirling around the NFL, and especially in NFC East circles, that the Dallas Cowboys are considering a blockbuster trade that could send CeeDee Lamb, one of their most explosive offensive playmakers, to the Commanders. And let me tell you, if this deal goes down, it could shake up the entire division. We're talking about a move that might not just boost Washington's offense, but could redefine our whole strategy moving forward, especially as we aim for that elusive Super Bowl title. So what's the story? Well, according to inside sources, the Cowboys, who are currently in the midst of a defensive rebuild and facing some salary cap constraints, are eyeing a trade that would send CeeDee Lamb to Washington in exchange for multiple first-round picks and a young edge rusher. It's a bold move, but one that makes a lot of sense from Dallas's perspective. They're looking to free up cap space, around $25 million, by moving Lamb, who's demanding around $32 million a year on his next contract, and focus on rebuilding their offensive line and secondary. With the trade deadline already passed, if this deal happens, it'll be a major offseason blockbuster, similar to the Tyreek Hill trade in 2022 that turned the Miami Dolphins into aerial contenders. Now let's talk about CeeDee Lamb because he's not just any receiver. This guy has exploded onto the NFL scene in a big way. Coming out of Oklahoma, Lamb has already amassed over 300 receiving yards and 42 touchdowns with a career average of 85. 4 yards per game, third among all active wideouts. Last season, despite some turbulence with injuries, he still posted nearly 200 yards and 8 touchdowns in just 13 games, earning a PFF grade of 98. His yards after catch ability, averaging over 7 yards per reception, makes him a real yardage machine, capable of turning short passes into big gains in a flash. That explosiveness is exactly what Washington needs to elevate our offense. Think about it. Lamb's a dynamic player with the ability to stretch defenses and create mismatches, especially in the red zone and on third down. His route running is precise, and he's got a knack for finding soft spots in coverage, traits that would make him Jayden Daniels' favorite target almost immediately. And for Washington, this isn't just about adding a star receiver. It's about transforming the offense into a more explosive, unpredictable unit that defenses will have a tough time containing. With Lamb, we could see a significant boost in EPA per pass, and projections show he could rack up around 300 receiving yards next season, pushing our aerial attack into a whole new realm. But let's not forget the bigger picture. The Cowboys, currently sitting at 5-9, are struggling defensively, giving up nearly 29 points per game. Their secondary is underperforming, graded just around 55, 2 by PFF, and they're in need of cap space for extensions, especially for key players like Parsons. Moving Lamb would free up around $25 million, which they could redirect into their defense and offensive line rebuild. However, there's skepticism. Giving up a star like Lamb could weaken their offense at a critical time, and they risk falling into mediocrity if they don't find suitable replacements. Plus, losing their alpha receiver could make their passing game predictable, much like the Packers after trading Davante Adams, something no team wants. Now, let's focus on what this means for Washington. With a record of 6-8, our offense has shown flashes of brilliance but lacks that true game-breaking receiver. Adding Lamb would be a huge upgrade for Jayden Daniels, who's shown promising development this season. Analyses suggest that Lamb's addition could increase his expected yards per attempt by around 18%, and he could add close to 300 yards in the passing game, significantly surpassing what we get from our current top target, Jahan Dotson. His presence would create more space for our run game, especially with Robinson rushing for nearly 950 yards this season. The play-action game would become a nightmare for defenses, and our offense would finally have that extra firepower needed to make playoff runs. Think about the impact this could have in the NFC playoff picture. If Lamb joins our squad, the odds of Washington making a deep postseason run skyrocket. For Super Bowl LXI, our odds could drop from plus 12-0 to around plus 4-0, with Lamb serving as the X factor in the playoffs. Not only that, but he'd give us a real advantage in aerial matchups against rivals like the Eagles and 49ers. His presence on the field could turn the tide in tight games, especially when defenses are focused on stopping the run or double-teaming Dotson. Imagine Lamb drawing coverage on the outside while McLaurin and Dotson work the middle. Defenses wouldn't be able to handle that. In particular, the comparison to A.J. Brown's impact in Philadelphia in 2022 is apt. Brown's addition transformed the Eagles' offense, and Lamb could do the same for us. It's not just about adding talent, it's about transforming the entire offensive dynamic. The Commanders, with a core of Daniels, Robinson, McLaurin, Dotson, and Lamb, could become one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC. And with our defense improving, the balance would be perfect. Our pass rush would get more pressure, and our defense would be less stressed, knowing the offense can keep up with the best. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it's clear that the Commanders are positioning themselves for a serious playoff push. Lamb's arrival would make us a matchup nightmare for any team in the league. The NFC is highly competitive right now, with teams like the Eagles and 49ers leading the pack. But adding a talent like Lamb could be the difference maker for us to finally break through and contend for the Super Bowl. Imagine the headlines: Washington Commanders, now with C.D. Lamb, turning into a true powerhouse, just like the Brady Moss duo of the early 2000s. Modern-day legends paving the way for a new era of success in the capital. In conclusion, this potential trade is more than just a headline. It's a strategic move that could redefine the trajectory of the Washington Commanders. It's about seizing the moment, making bold moves, and putting ourselves in the best position to compete at the highest level. Lamb's talent, combined with our young quarterback's growth, could be the perfect recipe for a deep playoff run. And maybe, just maybe, that elusive Super Bowl trophy we're all craving. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Lamb trade? Do you think it's the move that finally pushes us over the edge and gets us to the Super Bowl? Or are you skeptical about giving up those future picks and young talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the franchise. Keep the discussion alive, and remember, I'll be back soon with even more updates on the Commanders, so stay tuned for the latest news. Let's keep this passion burning bright, and together we're building a team that's destined for greatness. Go Commanders!